As I'd hoped, I got out here and got a little bit more work done today on this saw cabinet. As you can see, it's already glued, nailed together. Pretty strong, actually. I was concerned that this span here that is going to hold the saw itself, pretty much there's a support right along this line here that divides the back half, but then you've got the saw going to sit here on this 20-inch span. 3/4 inch particle board. I'm afraid that over time it's going to begin to sag and my saw will come out of true as far as the table is concerned. So what I did is right underneath this line here, there's another dado, and it's just offset a little bit from where the saw itself will actually bolt down. What I can do now is I can put another board in here, just probably a 2 or 3 inch strip in that groove, and that will greatly strengthen this whole top so it doesn't sag. But before I do that, what I'm actually going to do is construct another box that will go in here. Not really a full box because I'm not going to put a bottom on it, but it'll just be 2 sides and a top plate that will slide in there, and that will again help support the saw. I think you can see the lines here. This is where the outer perimeter of the saw itself will sit. And here's my groove that I'll put that other strip into so it'll come down. I believe that the box inside of here, it'll be an extra, 3/4 of an inch, so it'll come out pretty darn close to this line. And another plate in here. So this will actually be 1.5 inches thick that the saw will sit on top of. We'll have this cross brace here that'll act kind of like a mini I-beam. I don't believe I'll get any kind of sag now out of this box once that saw is sitting on there. Like I said, that's a very heavy saw. I would venture to guess with the wings on there, it is running 250 pounds. At least, maybe a little bit more. I know that sounds kind of high, but it did take 2 of us to lift that thing very slowly onto this last torsion box that I built, and I will now be using my cherry picker to pick that thing up because I know I cannot move it alone, and finding help these days is kind of hard. So anyway, this is the progress that we made so far. I'm going to see about cutting the box within the box and getting that slid in there now. Okay, so I decided to change my mind a little bit. Here we've got that cross brace all up in its dado, nailed in place, lots and lots of glue holding everything in place. But rather than building a full box all the way down to the bottom, I only came down so far. My thought behind this is maybe I can just go ahead and slide some kind of a makeshift drawer in here. I wouldn't waste the time with any slides or anything like that. But what that'll allow me to do is just kind of slide a tray out. For those of you that have ever had a fireplace, you'll know what I'm talking about there. It's like an ash tray that you can just slide out, take and dump out, slide the vacuum in here and actually clean everything else up. But that ash tray, the sawdust tray in this case, would get the vast majority of it. Plus, since I'm cutting out all this center here anyway, I figure why waste the material to build a board that continues across. So I just cut these strips here on both sides, glued those up in place, have those all secured with some nails right now. I'll drive a couple of screws in there to help hold everything in place, and this ought to be more than enough to hold it. I did do a little bit of a stand test on here with myself. Didn't appear to be any real major deflection other than right in the middle, right in here, which, guess what? There's not going to be any weight right in here. All the weight is going to be running right along the edges and right along this plate here and the back plate. So I think I'll be fine. So yes, our saw cabinet, nothing too much to it, but it is pretty much done. So now we can get started on the next one.